same, but what matters is going out and having fun. And if you're in 10th place, but you're racing hard with the guy in 9th place, you can both come in after the race, you can give each other a big hug, and you can say, hey, wasn't that the greatest? And it might be something just you and he saw, and the spectators weren't paying attention to. Like in this good Formula 4 race here, this is the two leaders, Stephen Guy and Rogers, I think, isn't it?
It's Jeff Rogers. Yeah. He's in the lead, and Guy right now in second place. They're having a good race. They're well off the pace that Duran's setting, but they're not in the same race. They started behind, and so they're not going to.
Their engines are smaller. Their engines are built to different rules. They're built to last longer, so they're not as highly stressed. They're based on the English Ford engines, four-cylinder engines from the 60s and 70s. Break. Maybe you end up winning a season end trophy for your class by being the guy that competed in the most races and ran the most laps, but it doesn't have anything to do with the finishing order.
And I would think the fellowship.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. They have a 2-day event, actually a 3-day event here in Spokane. Friday is the test and tune, and then a downtown parade, which is really well attended. Some of the race cars go down there. And Saturday night after the racing, they all get together for a barbecue dinner, and the Lyford family Saturday night had a presentation how Chuck Lyford and his wife Pam just won. It's called the Rally of the Incas last year. It was during our winter, their summer, and they had a 27-day rally from Lima, Peru, all the way around South Africa back to Buenos Aires. And it was an amazing event. It's a vintage car rally. They won it in a 1930-something Ford. I think maybe a Chevy. Maybe a Chevy, because it was based on the car that Juan Fangio, the famous driver from the 50s and 60s, drove in his home country, Argentina, before he went to Europe. But that's what it's all about. The racers get together. They have an adult beverage or two, sit down and swap stories about the racing and the old days, and hear from people like the Lyfords, and it's great fun.
The 57 car still on top in the Formula Ford race. That is Jeff Rogers in a 1970 Lola, and he's Stephen Guy in the race with him as well. And who's going to come out here going around this corner? It's Rogers in first and Guy in second. Yeah, same order. One
variable involved in these Formula Fords are the gearboxes. These gearboxes are made by a company called Hewland in England, and you can easily change every single gear ratio. So your first gear, if you have one that you want to have go a little bit faster, you can change to a higher first gear, and then a second gear for a certain course you might want lower, and your first, second, third, fourth gears and your rear end ratio are all changeable. So sometimes cars that otherwise would be identical on one course, one might be better than another because the driver has taken more time to keep good notes and to keep good records and make good guesses and gear his car better for a certain track.
These are, again, timed races, and we are better than halfway through this race. So I would guess another 5 or 6 minutes will probably be running his own race with Tom Cantrell, basically. They're running one race, and then you see the Formula Fords there. They're running another race, and that's still the car number 57, Jeff Rogers, leading the number 18 car of Stephen Guy. They're first and second place.
And they have not been either any closer or any further apart than they are right now. It's within 2 car lengths. It has been for the entire race.
Basically, you're looking at 2 equal cars and probably 2 equal drivers if nobody's making up any ground or losing any ground.
Yep. No, that's great watching them. And this is different from your IndyCar racing or your NASCAR racing because there's no championships of any consequence, no money. People take it a little easier. The prime sin in vintage car racing is to crash your car into someone else. They don't especially care if you run your car off the road and break something. They don't want you to do that either, but they really, really, really don't want there to be any contact between the cars. And you get sternly talked to if it happens once, and sometimes they let you stay home and think about it for a while if it happens more than once. Here's we have a pass with the Formula 4. It's not quite.
Yeah, Guy just about got by Rogers there, but Rogers able to hold him off for the time being. But this is kind of what we're talking about, the race within the race.
Stephen Guy used to live in Moscow, Idaho. He started racing 5 or 6 years ago, I guess, and has gradually gotten faster and faster and faster.
And there is the checkered flag, and so the winner in the Formula Mazda is George Duran, and then the winner of the Formula Ford race in this particular round was Jeff Rogers.
Will be. He's
or
still
he will be,
coming
yes.
around
He's
here
coming around because Duran took the checkered flag first, but now we'll have coming in.
He's still got the lead over Stephen Guy with just 2 corners to go.
There you see Duran. There you see Tom Cantrell finishing behind Duran in that one race. And the drivers will be coming around here, the Formula Fords. And it will be number 57, Jeff Rogers, getting the victory there as well. Here today in the Spokane Festival of Speed. Bill, we had a great day of racing today here in Spokane.
Boy, we sure did, Larry. These production cars, the big bore production cars, where we had the Corvettes and the Mustangs and the Camaros and all those guys back and forth. Great racing there. And then the races after that were the Formula cars, where everybody is about the same size car, the same speed, and the close racing there. Wonderful racing today.
And so that ends our coverage of the 7th Annual Spokane Festival of Speed and the Porsche of Spokane Historic Races. For our entire SWX crew and Bill Weed, I'm Larry Ware. Thanks for watching the 7th Annual Spokane Festival of Speed.